Let's turn it. Good morning. Thanks for coming. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about kind of how to choose technologies for making games. It's an opinion piece. Won't be for everybody, but yeah, I'm up here and you're down there, so I don't care. For those of you that don't know me, you can detect from my accent, I am from here, but I live here in the middle of Germany. Exactly why is a story for another day and a couple of beers, but yeah, that's why I flew in yesterday. That's good. I've been quite lucky because a handful of companies I worked for, they're not in chronological order because PowerPoint, but a long time ago I helped launch the original Xbox, and then after that I got headhunted to go work at EA, doing some cool mastering stuff. Skipped a couple of companies, ended up in Frankfurt working for Crytek, which, yeah. And, the last proper job I had was working for Australia's Collective, where we published indie games. My successor is in the audience there. Yeah, pretty cool. I've been super lucky. Like, you know, I was working at EA in the glory years where it was pretty much a joke actually. Going to work for 2 years was just, it wasn't work. We were making loads of money. And we were the first business unit to make over $1 billion in Europe, which was awesome. So we all went to Euro Disney for the weekend, took it over, and behaved so badly we weren't invited back. So yeah, it's cool. It's a couple of games I worked on. Up here in the top left we've got Ava from the Turing test. On the right we've got Forgotten Anne, which is for a cool studio in Copenhagen. Down here is FIFA. I didn't work on that version. I worked on the DS version, which is awesome. So good actually that Konami actually stopped making Pro Evo on DS. We just kicked their ass 1 year and they were just like, we're out. It was awesome. And in the middle is Max from Life is Strange, which won a BAFTA. So yeah, I'm happy about it. So other extracurricular bits that I do, that I'm busy, very busy. Vice Chair mentioned that. I'm an ambassador for Special Effect, which helps young people interact with technology. Yuki, I am a board member, which is cool. And then most recently, I joined Pocket and Play, which is helping people of colour overcome issues in video games. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you're not here to hear about this. You're here to hear my opinion. So when Byron first asked me to go up and do this, and do the keynote, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. It was going to be very ranty. I've got borderline PTSD from working on engines. But I called my therapist and she was just like, yeah, you know, maybe tone it down a little bit, you know, try not to worry about it. Anyway, that being said, and literally, fuck no. You get all this shit and more. Oh, actually, can you just turn the light switch off? Thank you, sorry about that. For free. Like, why would you write that all yourself? It's just mad. So yeah, that's it. Seriously, right. I need to put a little bit of context around that. And what I'm going to do today is just kind of talk to you about it from a producer's perspective. So whenever we're thinking about you know, what technology to choose for our games, I need to wear a variety of different hats. So sometimes we have to be the gatekeepers. You know, we have to tell designers, no, you can't do that. We have to make them sit down and shut up and literally crush hopes and dreams. Other times, you know, we're covert ops. You know, we have to go and sort out problems quietly, you know, foreign and domestic. Other times we're the law. So towards the end of a project, there's no check-ins. No changes, no bug fixes. We're shipping this game by hook or by crook. And in the top left corner, yeah. Sometimes we're often required to use the power of foresight. We need to predict problems before we send in Sam to drop some horse heads in the right beds. There we go. So, as a producer, my modus operandi, if you will, is to get the game team from A to B as efficiently as possible. We need to deliver a quality product on time, on budget. So, as I've grown, I've learned more as a producer, and become a leader, I still want to do those same things, but also I don't want to kill the team in the process. So how do I do that? I do that through negotiating, navigating the team through different problems, and dealing with this nasty word, risk. So sometimes risk can be good, more on that later, but how I actually do that is I just ask a series of questions. So using the 3 pillars from before, can we make a quality game? Do we have the skill to do it, or do we need to get good? Do we need to hire the talent in to make a good game? Truth versus fiction. So can the engine actually do what's being sold to us? I'm looking at a couple in particular. Yeah, you know, I think one thing to remember, these are all sort of like private companies, right? They need to make money. So when you see these awesome demos at trade shows, you need to be like, okay, great. Are they using what they're selling, or is there like a branched version of that they're using to do that? And I'll use Unity as an example because yeah, every time they do release these awesome new videos, all the tools used to make that are always in preview. They're always beta. They're never ready. So if you're in the middle of a production, you've really got to ask yourself, you know, are we going to upgrade a version to try and get those new sexy tools that we see? Probably not. And at the time, so basically, is there enough support? So how do we do it? Can we just call someone on the end of a phone? Do we email? Do we just languish in forum hell? Or can we fix the problem ourselves? Can we make the tools to make the engine fit specifically what it is we want to do? And the budget, can we afford it now, or can we afford it later? That's kind of very nuanced. What could that be? So depending on how many seats you need and how long the project is, you know, that's one amount versus, and I'm speaking about 2 engines here, paying a royalty afterwards. You know, and I think the mindset here is don't be bogged down in terms of giving away someone part of your profits, because you still need to make money to give them that money. If you're making 0, then they get 0, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. And as for time, yeah, so pay now versus pay later. So what I mean with this is there something we know the engine can't do that we want to do in the future? How important is it? And where in the timeline are we? So should we avoid paying now and just get there and worry about it later? Or just get someone else to do the porting, someone else's problem? Or do we like, okay, cool, let's pick this different engine, which should take us slightly longer to get up on, but we know that we can support every platform that we want to use in the project lifecycle. And then, yeah, just similar from that, head start versus long term. So if the engine could do everything we need to do it, let's just get going. And also, and something that we've done quite a bit is, can we just get the prototype going to get to the next stage? It's throwaway work, but if that secures us a publishing deal, then that's served its purpose. Yeah, so all these questions help me determine if the engine itself is fit for purpose. Can we use this tool to get to good enough? And now, I know it's not a very sexy phrase, especially in the current market. But I think what I mean by that is the type of game we're making, the type of audience we have, and the speed of development. Can we produce a title that's got good enough quality to do well? And the ROI on that, it depends on what success means to you, right? It could be millions, could be hundreds of thousands. But that's the goal. And remember, I'm a producer, so for designers, that goal's slightly different. But this is all I care about. Excuse me. Yeah, good. Quick quiz. Does anyone recognise that game on the left? Awesome. You are in leagues with 99.9% of the rest of the world. That is actually my game, Hyperstellar, that I released 3 years ago. Yeah, it did do particularly well. Any Unity experts in here? What does that look like?
It's a tutorial list.
Thank you. Yeah. So when I was evaluating the engine, I missed this. I found it 6 months later, and a couple of £1,000 later, its development. I was fucking furious. This could have saved us so much time. Well, about 3 or 4 weeks. It's super basic, but the game isn't different enough. Like, it looks like the same game. If I saw that at the beginning, would have made some different artistic choices to help get away from that. Yeah, everyone says it looks like the demo. It's not the demo. I showed the invoices to prove it. Yeah, piss me off. So, okay. So that's really why the nose. I said it'd be a bit more measured, so I do want to do a disservice by being completely negative. So, if you have the time, if you have the money, if you have the skill, and you know what your next couple of games are, sure, make your own engine. I spoke to a couple of friends about this, and they were just like, there's nothing better than being close to the metal. I assume that means something to programmers in the room, not me. Yeah, sure. And then, when I'm talking about time, you need to be very careful. Like, that is your time. That's not anyone else's time. And just to be topical, Google released or announced something this week, Stadia, and I think our friends up the road should be quite nervous about that. I'll talk about it properly, by the way. So sure, like there's competitors already for them, but like Google are heavyweights. Like it's serious. They have the ability to make them not have a business anymore. So when you're thinking about running your own engine, you need to think, time, quality, budget, but can you get to market fast enough? If a rival comes out before you, is your graphical differentiation going to be enough for you to start cannibalizing them? When I used to work in Techland, we had a phrase, be first or be best. I think that's fine for apps. I don't 100% agree that it works for us. I mean, there's loads of case studies about that. My best memory would be the fight between Split Second and Blur. Two pretty good racing games. They came out within 2 weeks of each other back when no one had any money. So they're only going to buy one. And what resulted is they both had mediocre sales, and I think we all know those teams aren't around anymore. So yeah, it's tough. Yes. So yeah, I asked a couple of friends who do make their own engines, just for a couple of quotes and tidbits. This is from a guy I used to work with in Oxford who didn't want to be named. But yeah, this was a very common occurrence. Basically, they used the tools that were already available, thought they were a bit shit, so they wrote their own ones. All right, that's fine, that's no problem. I love this one from Jake. Is he here yet? No. Yeah. Fine, no problem. Oh. Yeah, so I blacked through that really quickly, and I just want to kind of finish on a positive note. As with all these things, take it with a pinch of salt, take some lessons that apply to you, and I'm not a preacher, this isn't gospel, it's my perspective about not using engines. But most importantly, long live dreams. If you're passionate about what you're doing, and you know what you're doing, and you know where you want to be, go for it. Just try and make as informed decisions as you can. That's it.